well, it's into December now, early December, so what is happening in the bulb houses? Lots of leaves on the narcissus, you can see. And there are a few flowers. This is a Romoxii. Get in without the leaves to show you. Yeah, nice little plant. I love Romoxii. They're flower all through, but lots of leaves. Going through green. Oh, this is interesting. These are the leaves I don't really necessarily want. Weeds. So, do you pull it out or don't you? Well, there's not so many bulbs coming up in that pot, and they're growing something else in the pot like grass or a weed can help remove surplus moisture and prevent rotting in the bulb. So I'm just going to leave that weed there at the moment. So you can see lots of buds to come. Not too much happening yet. Some little cyclamen seedlings. Crocus that have gone over. Well, here we got typical sign. There's it, the flower has gone over. We'll just remove that. Remove that. And that, we've got to get those off because otherwise they can start the grey moulds and we don't want those. Quite a lot of pots with nothing happening, but don't know if you can see how that one's. See that how it's raising up in the centre, it's pushing up like a little hill. That's a definite sign that there's growth going underneath, and that growth is pushing up the compost and the gravel on the top. Ooh, here's a colchicum leaf with a bit of, this is again what we're looking for, damage. Bit of frost damage or weather damage, whether it's got scorched or frosted, but the tip's damaged. And look at the grey mould forming. What I do with that, I'll come down to where it's plain and just break it off. So all these tips snap off. Get rid of that. This is all the stuff I don't want any grey mould happening in here. Here's the Tropaeolum tricolorum, and this greenhouse is climbing up the wall. There's something else I don't want in here. You can see it. A young snail. He's going to become a big snail, but he's not going to do it on the back of my bulbs. So I won't do all these, but all these crocuses need done. I'll come back and do them when I've finished this little tour. Round here we have the narcissus. Not narcissus, galanthus. Narcissus are yellow, galanthus are white. So a nice group of snowdrops. We're not very good at growing these. Our climate doesn't seem to suit these outside, the autumn flowering ones, but so we do grow these in pots in here. So not so much here, but again more crocus needing attended. Some leaves I need to clear up that I've got blown in off the Acer. So that's the one. That's the wee bulb house. And we'll just basically turning around through the hedge to the other one and see if there's a bit more happening in here. This time it's all the smaller pots, and it's much the same procedure. The crocus flowers to come off, there are buds appearing, there's all sorts of seedlings appearing. First seedling there coming on a little allium. Other plants, here's seed Galanthus alpinus. These were sown quite a few years ago in 2012. They've germinated a few years back, and this is them coming up for another year's growths that are a bit bigger. Here's another Galanthus Warrenowi. Again, I think this is into its third growing season. So just more and more. If we come here, there's another pot here of Narcissus Romoxii. These are all 7cm pots. It's through this end where the action, it's quite interesting. This is where I've planted all the stuff directly into the sand. What's really interesting and of note here is we have exactly the same plants and clones in many of these instances growing in pots, and they're nowhere near open. All these are open. So it's obviously something to do with the moisture levels in the sand, or something that's encouraged these to grow better or earlier. So it's a really nice, interesting, really beautiful little. Now I've no names on these, no labels, so I don't know, but this is one of the Cantabricus ones. You look at that lovely long funnel, and if you compare it to these different shaped tube, So these are hybrids with Ramoxia. These are hybrids along the lines of Chamorro, so hybrids between an early Cantabricus and a Ramoxia. And Cantabricus. The Floris cyclamen that I got as a bargain and stuck in the back. Here's a Tropaeolum. This is in this greenhouse. It's Tropaeolum Tropaeolum azurium. That's a seedling. That's just germinated. So it's climbing up. The main plant, if I come around here, is planted at the base of that stick, and the idea originally was it would grow up that decorative stick, but it chose to go off that way, so not so decorative growing up through the light and up there, but there we go. You can't always get the plants to do what you want. That's where I want it to go. A nice cyclamen leaf there. Now here's a weed. I really don't want weeds in this bed. So the cyclamen, and if we come right down, baby cyclamen, so seedlings just coming. You can see them more there. Cyclamen seedling, cyclamen seedling. So lots of seedlings. More narcissus. This side not so later flowering ones perhaps. There's plenty buds that you can see there. There's the taller leaves of typical leaves of Iris reticulatus types. So that's just a wee view of where the bulb house is at the moment. Nothing too exciting, a bit early yet, but these beautiful narcissus will keep us interested and give us flowering interest all through the season.